Alright, for the first part of this recipe, I'm going to be making a pineapple pico. Simple to make. All you're going to need is a red or purple onion, whatever you like to call it, 3 Roma tomatoes, some cilantro, a good sea salt preferably, it has a better flavor, and this pink Himalayan sea salt is supposed to have more minerals in it, pineapple, and some garlic. Now remember, you can leave out cilantro if you don't like cilantro, and if you don't like garlic, leave it out. The others obviously kind of have to go into it to make it a pico. So let's get this stuff cut up. Alright, so we have everything cut up here. One little thing I like to do is cut the pineapple into pretty small bites. I don't like massive chunks of pineapple in this recipe. So here we go, we're going to blend it all together. The garlic. And here's another thing I like to do with the onions. I cut all the whole onion up, but I don't add it all because it could be overwhelming if you add too much. So normally what I do is I add about half of what I have cut up, and then when I mix it up, I see if I want more. I'll do the same thing with the cilantro. I love cilantro. My wife doesn't love it. She likes it. She tolerates it. If you want an amount for the cilantro, I'd say about 2 to 3 tablespoons of it, maybe. But what I like to do is, as I mix it, I just see if there's enough green in there for me. Same with the onion. I'll just decide. It's just personal preference is all it is. Like I said earlier, the garlic you can leave in or take out if you want. You could, if you want, substitute like parsley for cilantro. But I know there's a percentage of the population that their brain views cilantro as soap. So if you do not like cilantro, do not think you can't make this recipe, because you absolutely can. Just leave it out. See that? I don't know how well the camera picks that up, but it's just not enough green in there for me. So I add the rest of that. So once we get this all mixed up, and this is a very quick recipe. Obviously the longest process is cutting the stuff up, so putting it together is pretty easy. Put some of the salt in there and mix it up one more time, and that is it. Then we're going to let this sit in the fridge. The rest of the recipe we'll do a little bit later, for the chicken part. And normally I like to let that marinate overnight, but to get this whole video done today, I wasn't able to do that. So there you go. There's a pineapple pico, first part of the recipe.
Here's step 2 of making Key West chicken. First we have 4 cloves of garlic, roughly 4 teaspoons, juice from 1 lime, 4 tablespoons of honey, and a cup and a half of low sodium soy sauce. The reason we use the low sodium is because we have made this recipe before and used normal soy sauce and it was very strong, so I highly recommend using low sodium. So first we will add this. Pour the lime juice in, then add the honey. Put it here. I want to make sure we get all of it. Here. Then add the low sodium soy sauce. That's it.
Give it a good mix, and it's ready to go.
Gotta give it a good mix first. Alright, so this is the third part of making the Key West chicken. We're going to make the rice, so it's pretty simple. 2 cups water, 2 cups rice, and a good amount of salt. We use the Himalayan pink salt, more flavorful than just typical table salt. So first we are going to add the rice. I'm gonna hope it all comes out. We're gonna grab a spoon here. Alright, when that's all in, then we're gonna grab the water and pour it in. And then I'm going to add a good amount of salt. There we go, and then stir it. And then when we put it back on, so I'm gonna come here, make sure you seal it, and then pressure cook, and then put it to 4 minutes, and that's it.
Here we go for step 4. The rice is cooking right now, so we just got to get this marinating. And once we put it in there, we'll let it marinate for about half an hour in the fridge. It's as simple as this. Just pour it right over your chicken breast. Now, I use this container or this baking dish, and I have in the past, it depends on the size of your chicken breast. I've done 5 in there and it's been enough, and this one actually we have 6 chicken breasts in there. 2 of them are a little bit smaller. I mean, we have 2 really large ones, and then I guess there should say 4 are a little bit smaller breasts here. So all we want to do is we're just turning these to coat them, and then we're going to let it sit for half an hour covered in the fridge. And then after that, we're going to have the oven preheated to 400 degrees. And that's good coverage. And once we do that, we will get back to you and show you the baking process.
So our marinade is done, 30 minutes in the fridge. So we'll take this off. So when we put it in the oven, we need to make sure it's at 400 degrees. It'll go in for 45 minutes. And then you want the thickest part of the chicken to be 170 degrees. So open it here. Slide her in there. And again, timer 45 minutes at 400. And then when time's up, 170 degrees in the hottest part of the chicken. This way you know it's cooked through. Also, our rice is done. Ready to eat once the chicken is done, as well as our pineapple mix.
Alright, here we go. The chicken is out of the oven. We have a bed of rice. We have our pico. So let's throw it all together and see what we get here. The chicken, because of the smaller breasts, would have been done before these bigger. So I went until the bigger were at over 170.
We can dish some up here, some of the pico. Sprinkle it over, a little extra over the rice. Some on for you.
Give it one more scoop. Don't be skimpy with this pico. It adds so much sweetness and flavor to this chicken. It's just amazing. And try to get some with every bite. And another tip, take some of this sauce from the marinade and just drizzle it over. It is just amazing, the flavors that come out of this. And they work so perfectly together.
Cooking it this way in the marinade too makes the chicken very tender. I'm a big fan of it. It's not super tough and it's not dry at all. So it's really tasty.
And another thing to note, these bigger chicken breasts are very filling when you put this all together. So You may want to cut them in half horizontally when you cook them. It'll make it cook a little faster. But let's get to this. See how this turned out.
Pulls right off here. Nice and tender.
Make sure I get plenty of pico with this bite. Got a little bit of everything there. That is amazing. That is simply amazing. What do you think?
Very good. Big fan of the pineapple with it. Adds a little sweetness to it. Good texture with the rice and the chicken mix. Very good.
Yeah, that's cilantro. A little bit of cilantro. Adds a lot to it. Just so you know too, this is basmati rice. 4 minutes in the Instant Pot of cook time. And then we just let it sit while we wait with the cover on. So if you take the cover off, it'll steam off and then your rice will get dried out. So leave the cover on. I hope you liked this video. Got anything else to say?
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.